The stars were silent, but the galaxy screamed. Near the edge of the universe, a small space station floated in the darkness, peaceful and quiet. Then everything changed. A shadow passed over the moon, huge and alive, blocking the light like a storm cloud in space. The alarm rang across the station. Red lights flashed, and voices shouted in panic. The monster had arrived. It was not just big, it was massive, with wings like torn fabric and eyes that glowed like fire. Its name was not known, but across galaxies, people called it one thing: Void Beast. With a roar that shook metal walls, the beast tore the space station apart. Piece by piece, ships tried to escape, but they were too slow. The Void Beast moved like a ghost, fast and deadly. But the monster was not alone. On its back stood a girl, quiet, still, and watching everything. She had silver hair, eyes like ice, and skin that glowed faintly in the dark. Her name was Zara, and many believed she was the real danger, not the beast. She didn't speak, but when she moved her hand, the monster obeyed. Whole armies had tried to stop her, but they failed. Zara never wanted to rule the galaxy. She only wanted peace, but peace was no longer possible, now, across 100 planets. Her name caused fear and anger. Leaders called her a villain, a threat, a weapon. But no one asked why she was running. No one knew she was not in control of the monster anymore. Zara had lost the connection, and the Void Beast was growing darker, more violent, each day, across the stars, on a quiet planet called Earth. A teenage boy named Leo lived a simple life. He fixed machines, helped his father in the junkyard, and looked at the stars every night. He dreamed of space, but never thought space would come to him. One night, Leo had a strange dream. He saw a girl in the sky, crying, surrounded by fire. Behind her was a beast with red eyes, screaming without sound. Leo woke up sweating, his heart racing. He didn't know it yet, but the dream was real, and it was a warning. Far away, Zara was on the run. She had stolen a small escape pod from the ruins of a station she didn't mean to destroy. She was weak, tired, and hurt. The beast was somewhere else now, looking for her, angry, confused, and unstoppable. Zara knew the galaxy would not understand. She once loved the Void Beast. It saved her people long ago. But now it was out of control. She needed help. Not a warrior, not a soldier, just someone who would listen. As she drifted through space, bleeding and alone, her pod lost power. It fell into Earth's atmosphere like a shooting star. People looked up and made wishes. Leo ran outside when he saw the sky turn blue and red. He followed the smoke to the forest near his town. There, half buried in dirt and leaves, was the pod. It hissed and sparked, but it wasn't destroyed. Leo opened the hatch, afraid, but curious. Inside was the girl from his dream, Zara. Her eyes opened slowly, and she looked at him, confused. "You're real," she whispered. Leo stepped back, surprised. "So are you." He didn't know who she was. He didn't know that ships were already on their way, tracking her signal. He didn't know that the most feared creature in the galaxy would come for her and find him instead. He just knew one thing: she needed help, and somehow, he felt like helping her was the most important thing he would ever do. Zara tried to stand, but she fell. Leo caught her. "Stay still," he said gently. "You're safe now." But they were not safe. Above Earth, a ship appeared, black and silent. Inside were soldiers from 100 worlds. They didn't come to talk, they came to end Zara's story. Leo didn't know what he had just stepped into, but his world was about to change forever. The galaxy's most dangerous girl had fallen into his life, and with her came a monster that terrified galaxies. But fate had a strange plan, because the human she would come to love might be the only one who could tame it. Somewhere in deep space, a man watched the stars burn. He was not like others. He was a hunter, trained to track, capture, or kill creatures no one else dared to follow. His name was Vorn, and he had one mission: find the girl who controls the Void Beast. He didn't care why she ran. He didn't care if she cried. To him, Zara was not a girl. She was a threat, a living signal of destruction. And now, her signal had finally returned. Planet 728b, an old Earth name for a place called home. Vorn smiled, cold and silent. He ordered his ship to descend. "Prepare weapons," he said. "The girl is wounded. She will be easy to catch." But he didn't know. She was not alone anymore. Back on Earth, morning sunlight fell through the trees. Zara lay inside a small wooden shed behind Leo's house. He had covered her in blankets, brought her food, and stayed with her all night. She barely spoke, but when she did, her words were soft and strange. "You're not like the others," she whispered. Leo didn't understand everything she said, but he knew how to listen. He could see it in her eyes. Zara was scared, not evil. "What is that thing?" Leo finally asked. Zara looked away. "It was my protector," she said. "Now, it's something else." Leo was about to ask more, but a loud crack shook the sky outside. Clouds split open as a ship broke through Earth's atmosphere. Leo ran to the window. A black dot grew larger in the sky. Zara stood slowly, her body weak, but her mind sharp. "They found me," she said. Leo didn't ask who they were. He grabbed his tools, grabbed her hand, and said, "We need to move." Vorn's ship landed in a field near the town. People screamed, took photos, and called the government. But it was too late. The hunters had arrived. Zara and Leo ran through the forest, her steps getting slower with each mile. She was still healing, and her connection to the void beast was broken. "I can't fight them," she said, breathing hard. "You don't have to," Leo replied. "I'll protect you." Zara looked at him, puzzled. "No one has ever said that to me," she whispered. They reached an old, broken-down bunker Leo's father had once used for storage. He hid her inside, covered the entrance, and turned to go find help. But he didn't get far. A tall figure blocked his path. Armor like black metal, eyes glowing red. "Vorn, you've seen her," Vorn said calmly. Leo didn't speak. He could feel fear in his bones, but also something else, anger. He stood tall, clenched his fists, and said, "She's not what you think." Vorn laughed just once. "All monsters have friends," he replied, "until they turn." He pushed Leo aside and walked toward the bunker. Inside, Zara felt it. Her hands shook. Not from fear, but from something awakening deep inside her. Not the monster, not the void beast, something else. Her heart. She didn't want Leo to be hurt. She stood, stepped out of the bunker, and faced the hunter. "I'm here," she said. Vorn raised his weapon. Leo shouted, "Wait!" then jumped in front of her. The gun fired, but it stopped midair. Frozen, held by invisible force, Zara's eyes glowed bright white. The air around her shimmered, and from far, far away, a sound echoed across the sky. A roar the void beast had felt. Her pain, it was coming faster than light. Vorn stepped back, confused for the first time in years. "You're calling it," he said. Zara didn't answer. She didn't need to, because the monster that terrified galaxies was no longer out of control. It had one purpose again, to protect her, and now it would face anyone who dared to touch her, even if that meant destroying Earth itself. Leo looked at the sky. He didn't know what was coming, but he knew this. He wouldn't leave her side, no matter what, not even if it meant facing the void beast himself. Far above the Earth, in a cold and silent military satellite control room, a young technician stared at his screen. His name was Remi, and he had never seen anything like this. Something massive had entered Earth's orbit, too big to be a ship, too. Alive to be a comet. "Sir," he said, voice shaking, "there's something in the sky." Back at the command center, generals gathered, watching the object move faster than any known spacecraft. It didn't answer signals. It didn't respond to warnings. It just roared through the silence of space, heading straight for one tiny location on Earth. A forest, a small town, a boy, and a girl from the stars. Down below, trees bent and leaves flew like paper in a storm. Leo stood outside the bunker, eyes fixed on the dark clouds above. Zara stood beside him, breathing deeply, her energy returning. The void beast was near. But this time, something felt different. It wasn't just coming for Zara, it was sensing something else, Leo. Zara looked at him, confused. It's reacting to you. Leo stepped back. Why me? I don't even know what this thing is. Before she could answer, the ground shook. The void beast arrived. Its shadow swallowed the sky. It landed like thunder. Claws sinking into the earth. Wings curling around trees like blankets of night. Soldiers from Earth's defense unit aimed their weapons. Tanks rolled forward, jets circled overhead. Stand down, Leo shouted. You don't understand, but it was too late. The first missile launched. It hit the void beast's side and bounced off like a pebble on metal. The monster turned, not angry, just tired. It let out a low growl, enough to shatter windows. Then something strange happened. It looked directly at Leo and stopped moving. The soldiers froze. Zara stepped forward slowly. It knows you, she said quietly. Leo was shaking, but didn't step back. He raised his hand, and the beast lowered its head, not to attack, but to listen. Inside its giant eye, Leo saw something, a memory, a vision of Earth long ago, before humans had forgotten who they were. Before the beast was stolen from them. Zara gasped. It's not alien, she said. It was made by your kind. The truth was shocking. Thousands of years ago, ancient humans created the void beast as a guardian, a protector of knowledge and peace. But when war came, it was taken, modified, used as a weapon by others who feared its bond with humanity. And now, after all this time, it remembered the feeling. It remembered home, and in Leo. It saw something pure, something fearless, something human. The soldiers didn't know what to do. They pointed weapons, but no one fired. Then Vorn appeared again, this time in full battle armor. He aimed a pulse cannon at Zara, ready to end it. You can't control this thing, he shouted. It's a monster. Leo stepped in front of her. No, he said. It's more than that. Vorn fired, but the blast stopped mid-air again, only this time. It wasn't Zara who stopped it. It was Leo. Energy flowed from his chest like light from the sun. Everyone watched in silence as Leo stood glowing, calm and unbroken. Zara looked at him, her voice trembling. You're connected to it now. Void Beast roared again, but this time it wasn't a roar of rage. It was a sound of recognition, of awakening. Leo looked at the monster, then at Vorn. Leave, he said. Vorn didn't argue. For the first time in his life, the hunter was afraid. He backed away, eyes locked on Leo, and disappeared into the trees. The soldiers slowly lowered their weapons. Jets turned away. The danger for now was over. But something had changed. The galaxy would soon know that Earth wasn't just a small forgotten planet. It was the birthplace of a power older than stars, and one human boy had awakened it. Zara placed her hand on Leo's shoulder. You did something I couldn't, she said. You calmed the storm. Leo didn't feel powerful. He just felt responsible, because now the beast was listening to him, and the universe would soon come knocking. Darkness was all it remembered, the silence of space, the sound of galaxies screaming far away. The void beast drifted through the stars for centuries. Alone and full of pain, it did not speak in words. It spoke in feelings, loss, confusion, fire. It was created to protect, but no one ever said who to protect. For so long, it followed orders from cruel minds. It destroyed cities, crushed ships, and burned planets, but inside, it was broken. It waited for a voice that felt like home, and then it felt him, Leo, warm, human, different. The void beast listened again, and for the first time in ages it calmed. Back on Earth, Leo sat on the ground beside Zara, his body still glowing faintly. The soldiers were gone. The sky was quiet, but his mind was not. He kept hearing strange whispers, like echoes from the stars. I think it wants me to see something, he said. Zara looked worried. Are you sure it's safe? Leo nodded slowly. It trusts me now. He placed his hand on the beast's rough skin. Suddenly, his eyes went white. and the world around him vanished. Inside the void beast's mind, there was no light, only endless halls of memory. Leo walked through visions of war, screams, and broken stars. He saw Zara as a child, scared and alone. He saw the alien scientists twisting the creature's purpose. And then he saw something shocking. A lab with humans, ancient humans, creating the first version of the void beast. It wasn't a monster then. It was a guardian, programmed to love, to defend, to protect life. Leo gasped. This was ours. He whispered, humans made it first. He touched the vision, and it changed. He saw the moment the aliens stole it. They erased the love and replaced it with fear. Suddenly, the vision cracked like glass. Something was inside the memory, a shadow moving toward him. Leo turned, heart pounding. It looked like a beast, but not the same. It had many eyes, sharp limbs, and no voice. This was the parasite, a hidden force inside the void beast's mind, feeding on hate. It roared and attacked Leo. But just before it could reach him, the real void beast pushed it back. Leo fell to his knees, breathing hard. It's not evil, he said. It's sick. Back in the real world, Zara held Leo's body, trying not to panic. Then he woke up, eyes wide, gasping for breath. What did you see? She asked. There's something else inside it, he said. Something dark, like a virus. Zara's face turned pale. I know what it is, she said. They put it there to keep control. Leo stood up slowly. We have to remove it, he said. Zara hesitated. If you go too deep, it might hurt you. Leo looked at the beast. I don't care, he said. If we don't fix this, the galaxy will keep hunting it. And you. She placed her hand on his, and together they faced the creature again. This time they were not afraid. The void beast lowered its head, opening the path again. Leo and Zara entered its mind together. This time they were ready. The halls of memory shook as the parasite returned. It roared, twisted, and tried to trick them. But Leo focused, he thought, of his mother's smile, his father's old jokes, the stars he used to watch as a child. All the things that made him human. Zara reached out and touched the heart of the monster's mind. Together, they pulled out the shadow. It screamed and burned into dust, and then silence. Peace. The parasite was gone. The void beast opened its eyes, calm, clear, and full of light. Zara looked at Leo with tears in her eyes. You saved it, she said. No, Leo replied. We did. But far above them, in space, a council of alien leaders watched everything. One of them whispered, the human boy did the impossible. Another said, if he can tame the beast, he can also command it. And the third one, with a voice like ice, said, then Earth must be destroyed before he learns how. General Kor stood on the bridge of the galactic warship Oblivion. He was old, cold, and feared across 100 systems. He had destroyed stars with a command, and now he gave a new one. Set course for Earth. He said, no survivors. The officers saluted, faces pale, not because they feared Earth, but because they feared what lived on it now, a tamed void beast, and the human boy who had entered its mind and survived. On Earth, Leo and Zara sat by a quiet lake. Surrounded by trees and silence, the void beast rested nearby. Its massive body curled like a sleeping mountain. For the first time in days, there was peace. I used to be scared of everything, Leo said. Even the dark. Zara smiled softly. And now? Now I'm only scared of losing this, he said. She looked at him, heart heavy. I've never stayed in one place this long, she whispered. But with you, it feels right. He looked at her. Then stay, she nodded, but in her eyes he saw worry. She felt it too. War was coming, in orbit. The Oblivion reached position above Earth. Thousands of ships followed, all armed and ready. General Kor stared at the blue planet below. So small, he muttered. So dangerous. He raised his hand to give the final command. But then the void beast opened its eyes. It stood up. It roared. And every ship in the sky heard it, not through sound, But through fear, back on the ground, Zara felt her blood freeze. "They're here," she said. Leo stood up and grabbed the small device the void beast had given him, a crystal key from its memory. He pressed it, and the earth shook. Old machines hidden deep under mountains began to move. Technology left by ancient humans, sleeping until someone worthy awakened it. Zara stared in shock. "Leo, this is human tech," she said, "from before the Great Silence." Leo didn't know how he understood it. He just did. He stepped onto a round platform. Wires wrapped around him like armor. Light surrounded his body, and when he opened his eyes, again, he was connected to the void beast, to the sky, to something much, much older than the warships above. In space, General Kor shouted, "Launch everything!" Missiles, lasers, ion storms all fired at once. But before they could reach Earth, the void beast rose into the air, with Leo glowing at its heart. The first wave hit and vanished. The second wave curved away, blocked by an invisible force. Zara flew beside them on a floating panel of energy. Winds of light at her back. She looked at the fleet and said one word, "Leave," but Kor did not leave. He activated the final weapon, a star-splitter cannon meant to erase planets. The sky turned red. Zara screamed, "Leo!" as the light struck down toward Earth. But Leo didn't run. He raised his hand, and the void beast roared again, this time louder than suns. The beam hit and stopped, trapped in a sphere of golden energy. Leo stood in the air, glowing like a second sun. He didn't feel fear. He felt love. For Zara, for his planet, for the future, and the cannon failed. The alien fleet paused for the first time. They saw what humans could become when love gave them strength. General Kor growled, "Retreat." The ships turned away, one by one, and Earth was safe. For now on the ground, Zara rushed to Leo, catching him as he fell from the sky. His eyes opened slowly. "You stayed," he whispered. "Always," she replied. The void beast curled around them, calm, watching the stars. But deep in space, the real enemy watched, not Kor, not the fleets, but something older. Something that once controlled the void beast before anyone else. And now, it had its eyes on Leo. Asterisk long ago, before Earth had cities, before humans had names, there was light beneath the ground, a temple built not by man, but by something older, something watching, something waiting. And now, after 10,000 years, the temple woke up. Zara stood at the edge of a deep canyon that had split open after the battle. The void beast stood behind her, silent and still. Leo walked slowly to the edge, his body still glowing from the fight. "This wasn't here yesterday," he said. "No," Zara replied, "but it was always here." The ground below pulsed with blue light. A spiral staircase formed on its own, leading deep into the earth. Leo felt a pull in his chest. Something inside was calling him. They descended together. The deeper they went, the quieter it became. No wind, no noise, just the sound of their hearts, and something else, a low hum, at the bottom. They entered a round room made of silver stone. Symbols covered the walls, old, unreadable, but somehow familiar. In the center was a round table. Above it floated a small cube of pure light. Leo reached out. Zara grabbed his hand. "Are you sure?" Leo nodded. The moment he touched the cube, everything changed. A bright flash surrounded them. Then darkness, then stars. They were no longer in the room. They were inside a memory, but not their own. A giant human figure stood in the distance, armor glowing like fire. Behind him floated the first version of the void beast, smaller, pure, peaceful. "We created it to protect," the voice said, "not to destroy." Then they took it. Another voice said, "They changed it." The memory showed war, betrayal, and silence. Then it showed Earth being hidden, cut off from the galaxy to protect the truth. Zara stepped back, shocked. "This isn't just a planet," she said. "It's the origin." Leo stood still, watching the past play out, and then he saw himself. Not truly him, but someone who looked like him, long ago, a creator, a protector, Zara whispered. You are a descendant of the first maker. Leo didn't understand how. But now he knew why the Void Beast trusted him, why the old tech responded to him, why the galaxy feared him, because his blood carried the spark of something forgotten, something that could change everything. The vision ended. They were back in the stone room. The cube floated slowly back to the center. Leo sat down, holding his head. So what now? He asked, what am I supposed to do with all this? Zara looked at him with new eyes, not just with care, but with respect. You choose, she said. No one can force it on you. Leo stood, but before he could speak, the ground shook. A voice echoed through the chamber, not from the Void Beast, not from memory, but from something else. You woke the seed, it said. We are coming. Zara froze. No, she whispered. It's them. Leo looked at her. Who? He asked. She turned to him, her face pale. The first ones, she said. The ones who created everything. Even fear, above the planet, the stars shimmered strangely. In deep space, black shapes began to move. They had no ships, no need for engines. They just existed, cold, ancient, and patient. And now that the temple had spoken, they were heading to Earth. Back in the canyon, the Void Beast raised its head. It knew the feeling. Long ago, it had served them. And now, its old masters had returned. But this time, it would not bow. It would fight with Leo, with Zara, with Earth. Silence, not the silence of peace, but the silence of betrayal. Long ago, the Void Beast stood proud before its creators. It trusted them, but they feared its power. So they changed it, broke it, turned it into a weapon, and now it remembered everything. It did not want revenge. It wanted freedom. Above Earth, the sky opened. Black shapes emerged, shadows of the first ones. They had no bodies, only will. They spoke in thunder. Return what was stolen, they said. Leo stood between them and the Void Beast. His fists clenched, his heart burning. No, he said, this isn't yours anymore. Zara stood beside him, her hands glowing with light. We're not afraid of you, she said. The first ones didn't reply, they simply moved forward. The Void Beast roared louder than ever before, but this time it wasn't rage, it was pain. The parasite was gone, the control was broken, but a piece of its chain still remained deep inside its heart. Leo saw it, a glowing lock inside the creature's mind, placed by the first ones. It hurt the beast every second, and now, the only way to destroy it was from within. Leo stepped forward. I'm going in, he said. Zara grabbed his hand. You might not come back. Leo smiled gently. Then I'll leave something behind. He kissed her forehead, then turned to the Void Beast. It lowered its head. Leo stepped inside the glow and vanished. Inside the creature's heart was a world of storms. Lightning, fear, and screaming metal. Leo walked through it calmly. He wasn't afraid. He knew who he was now. Not a soldier, not a chosen one, just a human. Brave enough to care. He found the lock. It pulsed like a dying star, and then he did something no one expected. He sat beside it, closed his eyes, and forgave it. The lock cracked, not because of power, but because of love. The first ones screamed. Their shadows tore through the sky. But it was too late. The lock shattered. The Void Beast cried out, not in pain, but in freedom. Its eyes turned gold. Its wings spread wide, and Leo returned, floating in light. The first ones began to fade. One by one, their grip broken, their control lost. They were not gods, they were just fear, and fear had no place here anymore. The sky cleared, Earth was safe, the stars above were calm again. Zara ran to Leo, tears in her eyes. You came back, she said. I promised, he whispered. The Void Beast curled around them like a mountain of peace. It was no longer a monster, it was home. Galaxies watched from afar. Some feared Earth now, some respected it. But all of them would remember the day the human boy tamed the thing that terrified the stars. Not with war, not with strength, but with a heart too human to give up.